Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of New Comic Wednesday, also known as NCW. If you don't know who I am Casey. If you're looking for Amber, she is traveling once again. Do not ask me where she is because I genuinely cannot keep up. But we have a super exciting episode today of NCW. We have a super special guest who was so kind to respond to my frantic email 2 hours before this. So I'm very excited to have her on. If you haven't been with us before, hello. This is NCW with Casey. I have not made my official Zenescope promo in a comic yet, so I have to use this generic anime girl. But Sarah found her, and I love her, and yeah. So one day I will get a drawn picture. But yes, if you've never been to NCW, welcome. Every week at 3 p.m. we talk about our latest releases. This week will be the Grimm Tales of Terror Quarterly Heart's Desire. But before we get into that, don't forget to always like and subscribe to our videos, especially if you are on YouTube. You can hit that notification bell and you'll be notified whenever we go live. You can also find all of your comics at either Zenescope.com. You may find them at your local comics book shop if they carry Zenescope, and you can find them digitally on Comixology. So, without further ado, I will show the covers. Personally, I went with cover D by Richard Ortiz, but that is a beautiful Vince El Tabanis A cover, and I believe that is a Riviero on the B cover. Let me double check. Yes, it is. Riviero and Ivan Nunes on colors. So without further ado, art is interpretive by nature, and sometimes we can see what we want in a piece, but what happens when the piece shows us our deepest wish, our heart's desire? Will it all be that we hoped it would be, or could it become twisted into something much worse? 72 pages. All right, so I'm going to bring on our writer, Honor Vincent. Hi, Honor.
Hi, Casey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I was so excited to talk to you. So Amber was traveling the episode that we were talking about, the 2022 holiday issue. And I was like super excited to do that episode. And then she's like, "Oh, I got back in time." So I was like super jealous that week. So I finally got to talk to you. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So this is a little side note. I was looking at your website, and I saw that you wrote a Wikipedia article of the cultural depiction of weasels. Like, I need to know more about this.
I was really bored one day, and anybody can write a Wikipedia article. That's the beauty of Wikipedia. And I was looking, I forget what it was. I think I was looking at like cultural depictions of cats or something for like another thing I was working on. And this was like many years ago. And then I love weasels. I don't know. And at the bottom, it's like other pages, like cultural depictions of like every animal. And I was like, wonder if there's one of this animal or that animal. And then I found one, and there wasn't one of weasels. So tying into today's theme too, I love that like lady with an ermine painting. That's like one of my favorites.
Yes.
So I was like, well, I can write this page. So that's what I did that day.
Let's see if I can flash it up real quick. Oh, it's loading. Yes, this one.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, what a muscular weasel also.
I literally started looking at like the back history of Wikipedia, and I was like, wow, our Honor Vincent, you really did write this. Fascinating. Yeah. But today we are talking about the Grimm Tales of Terror Quarterly. And wow, I really love this issue. You've done a few like horror anthologies. What's the process of writing like 4 separate stories and trying to tie them all back together?
Yeah. So it has always started with an email from Dave and David with
Mhm.
like, hey, we're doing, a Grimm Tales of Terror quarterly. Here's kind of the theme. We'll get you an outline. And then, yeah, it's always like, here's kind of like, there's always a setup of like awful person.
Yeah.
Guess what's coming to them. We see them, being terrible. And I think I've especially loved the two. The holiday one was this way, and also this one where Keres has like a physical object she's either giving people, like she's kind of, because she's always the thread story is like what she's kind of up to and doing.
Mhm.
Um, so like for the holiday issue, it was her kiosk in the mall, and she's selling people different stuff that like kind
Mhm.
of fits in with what's going on for them. And with this one, it's a haunted painting that she also kind of tries to follow throughout the world over many hundreds of years. And that was kind of the thread. It was really fun. This one, they wrote in the email, like, we were sitting in a hotel and looking at the paintings in here and thinking about how kind of like weird that is and creepy they are. And that's kind of
Yeah.
like the genesis of it from them this time. But yeah.
That's super cool. I really like this issue because like it wasn't super like slasher horror, you know? It was the scariest parts about it were like the especially with the first story. I don't want to like give too much away, but like his past came back to bite him essentially. And like I think these stories were all just very dark and I really liked that, and they were very human. Did you have a favorite out of the four?
I really like the first and the last. I think
Yeah.
like those. I think those were my favorites. And the first one for like the exact reason you mentioned, like very dark, and also like you get kind of this full loop of a character
Mhm.
in 17 pages. Like you get like this flashback, and right. I also don't want to give too much away. But that one was fun to write too, because I think the visuals of it were the build up, of like, right, you see this kind of farmhouse in the painting, and then like the reader is able to sort of put it together. And I'm hoping kind of as you go back and look at it again, there are like Easter eggs that you'll find and be able to put together that were like mysterious the first go.
Yeah.
Um, and I love the last one too, that it was kind of an opportunity to tie everything together, like even more than usual. Like it's like,
Mhm.
yes, like this is where it all began. Kind of going back to Renaissance Florence for that, and that was really fun.
Yeah, it was interesting that you would put that story last instead of like doing it chronologically. I thought that was cool because it was like, oh, okay, that's where this painting came from. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of a cool twist. I'm trying to think which one my favorite was. I did like the Harvey Weinstein-esque one. That one felt very like there was justice in that
Yeah,
one.
that one felt good
um,
to write too.
yeah,
That like getting that brief also and being like, yeah, I'll put that
yeah.
down. Yeah, yeah. He's gross. Um, Yeah, and I think what was I going to say? The second one too. They do like subtly kind of go back in time a little bit. Like it's like we start in 2019 and then go back to the 80s, the 70s, and then like we're back in
Mhm,
the Renaissance era.
mhm. Yeah, I think if I had to choose a favorite though, I think it would still be the first story, especially because I didn't know what he did wrong at first. Like it took like a good few pages. Like you really set that up time-wise really well, and I was like, what did he do wrong? Like I know he's got some dirt under him. Like I just got to figure it out. But yeah, I don't know. I was really impressed with this issue, and I think you write Keres very, very well. Like
Thank
her
you.
dialogue is very smooth, and her character is very clear, and her motivations are very clear as well.
Yeah, I really love her.
Yeah.
I hope that comes through. Like I think she's an awesome character, and yeah, having like when I started writing these, like getting to go back and just like revisit her from the beginning to now is like she's awesome. Love
Yeah.
a vengeful death goddess, but she's like she's not. I wouldn't call her cheerful, but she's like, she
Mhm.
likes what she does, I think.
Mhm.
And I like that about her too. You know,
Mhm.
she looks pretty goth, but she's not, she ain't sorry what
Yeah.
she does because she's doing the right thing.
Mhm. Yeah, it's fascinating her character development over time. Like No Tomorrow, where she was just like pure destruction, and now she has like these motives. And I actually like these shorts a little bit better, just because. And not that No Tomorrow wasn't good. No Tomorrow is fantastic, but like I like seeing the I guess the evolution and why she does the things she does. But yeah, what are you working on next?
Nothing actually at the moment, which is like strange. I'm about to start working on a novel, which is totally separate and won't be done probably for many, many years.
Mhm.
That's like very much the like, yeah, the vibe with that, I think. And still, yeah, picking at some of my the creator owned series that I have going, the, you know, historical fantasy series that I write. But yeah, kind of little bit of a break right now. Had a Comic-Con this weekend, which was a lot of fun up here in Colorado. So that's still like mildly recovering from that. But it was great. Yeah.
Which con was it?
It's called Wicked West. It was in Loveland. I actually got to meet Pat Chand in person for the first time, and
Oh,
he's
that's
just such
awesome.
a nice person. And
Mhm.
found out he lives like he grew up really like 2 towns over from me on Long Island, which is
Oh,
like
that's awesome.
wow. So we chatted about that. Yeah, he was great. That was definitely a highlight. But yeah.
Awesome. I guess like one last question is, so you write so many different mediums, like you do poetry, you do comics, you're working on a novel, like what I guess about comic writing do you like the best, or like what stands out most for you?
I really, really love the collaborative aspect of it and seeing,
Mhm.
like, getting to see someone else's interpretation of like what you've written, like seeing the artwork that comes from the script is like
Hmm.
a high. Like it's like, and I imagine
Yeah.
it's kind of the same with film or, you know, if you're writing a play, which I like don't do, it's not a like, you know, a one woman show where it's like, all right, here's my vision and like I'm, you know, giving it off to the reader. There's like this extra level of, you know, wow, yeah, like getting to see these panels
Mhm.
to life is so cool. And that's, I think that's the best part of it for me is like, all right,
Mhm.
I'm writing this stuff, like I have this interpretation of these characters, but then it's going to just be made like so much better in, you know, a few short weeks by all these wonderful artists. And yeah, getting to see that is really, really, really cool.
That's awesome. And you get like each page like at a time, right?
I watch that Google Drive folder like the whole
Yeah.
when things are coming. It's just like, oh my god, there's a new one. Like, and yeah, yeah.
I do the same with the covers. I like found out how to use the history, and now I can see exactly when like a new cover that's going to be released in like October is coming out. I'm like, oh,
Ooh,
I gotta see it.
yeah,
So
it's
I
fun.
definitely know the feeling. Is there anything else you want to promote or any last thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I hope everybody likes this book. I had a lot of fun with it. Thank you very much again, also for having me on.
Of
It's always
course.
fun to like talk about these too. Yeah, go buy Heart's Desire. Tell me what you think. I'm on Twitter. I'm very always happy to hear.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you again for coming on like last minute. I have no time management skills.
I'm always excited. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
See you later.
See ya. All right. So thank you again, Honor, for hopping on today. I really, really, really liked this issue. It was so fun. But it was also so dark and so scary. I kind of like very briefly mentioned, but my virtual background today is supposed to be the house in the first story. Maybe not the best description or depiction, but it's pretty close. It's pretty spooky looking. But yeah, so definitely check it out. Zenescope.com, your local comic book shop, or Comixology. Next week, we will have, I don't know if we'll have Dave on, but our next week's release will be Grimm Fairy Tales number 71, which means that 75 is coming soon, which is going to be a crazy issue. I always love anniversary issues, so only like 4 months away from that. Other things, we have a virtual convention coming up this week, actually. It's going to be Friday and Saturday, not Thursday and Friday. That is the old image. Apologize. But it's going to be Friday and Saturday. Double check social media for that. Marissa Pope will be there. I believe we're going to do another David Wall masterclass. So it's going to be really fun. And we're also trying on a Saturday. So hopefully less people are at work and can make it out. Also remember that we have the body paint exclusives, which are only sold at the virtual convention. So we'll have a brand new one for April. Other than that, we're kind of on like a little bit of a break from in-person conventions right now, so we don't have too many updates on that. Otherwise, you can catch me and Noah on Coffee with Casey and Noah. That is typically Mondays unless we have a convention. It should be Monday this week coming up, and we talk about everything Zen. Speaking of everything Zen, there is a new podcast episode out right now where Mark actually sat down with one of our artists, Igor Lomov. I have not gotten the chance to listen to it yet, but I'm super excited because Igor is one of my favorite artists here. I really love his style. I think it's very video game-esque. So you can check that out not only on Facebook or not only on YouTube, but you can actually listen to it as a podcast on like a bunch of different platforms. So like Spotify, Apple Music, it's pretty much wherever you listen to podcasts. Checking any updates on Philadelphia VIP? Yes, in the sense that it is okay. Jason said it. Looks like it's gonna be August 11th and 12th. I wasn't sure if that was like official information yet, but that is the plan, that we are going to move it up. And yes, I believe we're going to be making announcements about it at the virtual convention. So I would say stay tuned to that. And we will let you know when the tickets will be going on sale. We are doing another early bird special. And we're going to also try and do it should be a jam-packed artist list. Probably the most artists that we've had like to date at a VIP event. So very excited. Some really great artists and writers as well. One more thought on that. Just check the virtual convention. We are doing early bird special, and I believe if you've attended a VIP event in the past and you are planning on going to Philly again, there should be like some sort of special treat for you. So stay tuned for that as well. I know Scott has that applies to you, Scott. Besides that, I think that's everything. Stay tuned for May's retailer live stream, as April is already almost over. Crazy. And stay tuned for NCW next Wednesday. I believe it's Amber, but who knows? I'll see you guys. Bye.